Man, another day, another pressing, okay? The fun never stops over here, all right? There, look, all right? Got a little problem. This time it's in Memphis, okay? This time it's in Memphis, man. Look, I'm going to tell you what's going down, all right? If you saw the channel, I think it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, I dropped a little video, a little reaction here. Memphis gangsters are furious. I exposed Young Dolph. And in this video, okay, in this clip, I basically broke it down, all right, that I'm having a little issue right now, okay, with the man that they say is the mastermind behind the Young Dolph hit, okay? I broke down a bunch of stuff that I'd said in the video, okay? Hernandez Govern, aka Quet, he wasn't happy with what I said, man. So look, I'll just recap. I'll just quickly show you what he said to me. I said, look, we can get on a call, we can get on an interview, we can resolve this like men. And we did it, man, and it was pretty explosive. I'm not going to lie to you. So let me just recap what we kind of went back and forth on Instagram, how we ended up on the phone together in a recorded conversation, and then I'm going to show you the clip. And I'm not going to lie, when it started, it was going left, but I managed to kind of pull it back in the end, man. But this is what I said about a day or so ago when we went back and forth. Right, so he's a alleged mastermind. We can't say that he's really the mastermind, okay? But he popped out. He saw the documentary. He said somebody must have gave you some fake paperwork on J Money, True La Mafia, all right? So he wasn't happy, all right? He posted this. He also hit me up privately. He said, yo, we got to clear the air. I can't have no disrespect to J Money. Now, look, I really wasn't my intention to put no disrespect on J Money. I did clap back with a little bit of saltiness, okay? I did say, well, look, are you going to clear it up or are you ducking the interview? Because I want him to clear this up. And this is no disrespect, okay? I know he was ducking a few interviews. You know what I'm saying? He maybe didn't want to get down with Flacco. Maybe he felt disrespected by Flacco from No Jumper. I know he had a back and forth. Seddy Nash said he was going to punch Hernandez Govern up, but that never happened. I don't know if he ever caught him outside in LA. I don't know if Seddy Nash even been back to LA since then, because I know Hernandez Govern was applying pressure. So I said, look, are you going to clear it up or are you ducking the interview? Now, he responded to that once again. I'm not gonna lie, he kind of applied some pressure to me in this one. I'm not gonna lie. He said, Traplaw Ross, why didn't you produce your fake paperwork about J Money in my face? And I did bump into Hernandez Governor, No Jumper Man, and he was cool. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared because I done heard the stories. I know the reputation, right? He said, why didn't you produce your fake paperwork when I see you face to face? Now, in my defense, I hadn't actually seen that paperwork at that point in time, okay? This was a whole investigation that we had going on for months. When I met him, I hadn't finished the script. I hadn't got all of that laid down, but clearly he is very upset. So look, all right? I'm not ducking any fades, or I'm ducking fades, but I'm not ducking any debates, all right? I'm not trying to duck any debates, all right? I personally would be happy to sit down with Hernandez Govern, whether we do it virtually, whether we do it in person. I know he's got a podcast, he's got a channel. So look, all right, I spoke to Hernandez Govern, all right, I spoke to Quet. We said, all right, let's clear the air, let's hop on an interview, let's have a conversation, okay? And I already knew what he was mad about, all right? He was mad that I'd posted up this paperwork that I'd found on Reddit that said J Money from True La Mafia. He had spoken about a situation where people had kind of come to his crib they was trying to get rid of witnesses for another crime that was going on, okay? And basically it said that he was going to identify who did it, and then he didn't do it in the end. He pulled back and he didn't end up doing it. So I didn't call him a rat, I didn't call him a snitch, but I did say there was paperwork that said that he was involved in this thing. Now, Quet has set the record straight. He let me know privately. He said, that's cap. It's fake paperwork. We need to clear the air. And I said, okay, let's get on a call. All right, let's get down for a conversation. And he hopped in. Okay, so I hopped on his channel over. Okay, I got it over here. Okay, his channel, Bet with Quet. All right, shout out to him. Look, for anybody that's been in the streets, that's been through these real situations, that's had cases, real stuff going on, I can't do nothing but salute people that are trying to get their YouTube bag on. They're trying to kind of do content. They're trying to get out of the streets and do positive stuff. So I got respect for Hernandez Govern, Bet with Quet. This is his channel. He on the sports betting tips. He got all this different stuff going on, okay? And I said, look, let me pull up. Let me do an interview, all right? And we'll set the record straight. And you see the image there. I know you're thinking this thumbnail looks familiar, okay? So, you know what I'm saying? He pressed me for a thumbnail. He said, right, you're going to make the thumbnail too, all right? He hit me like Debo. He said, I'm going to need a thumbnail too. You better make this shit viral. So I'm like, okay. But we hopped on the call, man, and I'm not going to lie. It started off pressure. The way it started, it was pressure. Okay, he was towing the line. He was kind of putting me in my place, and he just really was passionate about setting the record straight as far as J Money's name, this paperwork. And That's reasonable. Okay, so look, I'll play you a little bit of the press in, a little bit of how it started, very frosty. But over the course of the conversation, we got a little bit more cool. We got a bit more understanding. I think he respected the fact that I was willing to set the record straight. I wasn't just trying to put stuff out there and not let anybody say their piece. So we had a conversation, man, and it's a really great conversation. It was nearly an hour long. If you want to see the whole thing, go over to his channel, Bet with Quet, at Quet Picks on YouTube, okay? Go over there, give him a subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to not get pressed. I'm trying to be good in Memphis, okay? So you got to go and show my man some love, all right? But basically, we got on the phone, we got on a call, and, you know, it started off tense. I'll break it down. I'll give you guys a little play-by-play about what was going down in this call, man, and then, you know, you're gonna see how it all went. Okay, so look, I'm here with the man himself, Hernandez Govern. Okay, I just released the documentary Murder Memphis. I broke down all of the history behind, you know, the streets of Memphis, the unfortunate situation with young Dolph, the trial with Hernandez Govern. So, you know, we had a little back. Look, you can already see he's tight, and he got the Nike Tech on. Now, I seen him at No Jumper, and I seen him when he pulled up to press Steady Nash. He had the Nike Tech on. I seen him in a suit in the courtroom, but I know when Quet pops out in a Nike Tech tracksuit, it's a problem. Okay, and as soon as I hopped on, I see him in the the gray tracksuit. I said, "Oh Lord, man. Okay, I know he's gonna be on smoke," and you can just tell his demeanor was tight because he was respectful in the DMs, and we had spoken once before. But I was thinking, okay, he's gonna mark me out. He's gonna mark me out. And when we got on a call, I'm trying to kind of. He was like, "Yeah, we basically got on the call, and he was like, "You introduce it." So I'm like, okay, so I'm trying to introduce it with some good vibes, some good energy, but I'm looking at him. He dusting off the tech fit. I'm thinking, oh Lord, this is gonna be tough, man. So you're gonna see my demeanor kind of like I try and start on some positive vibes, but I know I'm in trouble, man. Back and forth on social media over the last day or so. I said, look, I'm willing to jump. He big mad, just look, he big mad, man. I was like, here we go. Here we go. Jump on here, clear the air. It was no disrespect, but I know that maybe there were some things you didn't agree with, man. So look, I'm here. I'm willing to have a conversation. I'm coming on positive energy, but here we are, man. So, you know, just you keep it real with me, like, just let me know how you're feeling about things. And if we got to clear some shit up, let's just get to it, man. Because look, you can see my demeanor. I was like, he didn't really say nothing to me before this. He's like, yeah, we're going to do an interview, set the record straight. I'm like, okay. We hop on the Zoom. He's like, yeah, we ready to go, do the intro. I'm kind of like, okay. Like, you can hear, I'm like, like, is it good? Like, are we good? Because when I met him in person, we was good. Like, when I met him in person, we was good. I said, I'm working on a documentary. I'm working on my thing. He said he working on some stuff. But yeah, I didn't really know what I was in for this one, man. And he kind of got busy, man. He got to toe in the line, but he was respectful, though. I got to say, he was respectful, but he wasn't going for all that J Money disrespect. I didn't intend to disrespect J Money, and I feel like once I got a chance to kind of break it down to him, he was understanding where I was coming from.
You know, like I was saying in the DM, you know, and I guess it is best to have a verbal conversation versus through text or whatever. I didn't appreciate and respect the fact that you know me personally. You know what I'm saying? Like when we chopped it up at No Jumper, we immediately, you know what I'm saying? It was a cool, you know what I'm saying, meet and greet, I would say.
So anybody that wants to get the history right, there's a No Jumper news episode from a while back. There's an episode. It's actually crazy when you think about it. Because I was on No Jumper with a bunch of guys from the UK. I had Tanks with me. I had Honcho with me. We was on there with Young Camel Toe and Munchie B. Like, it was the craziest lineup. Go and find that No Jumper news episode. That was wild. But, like, that was already wild. And then partway through the interview, like, right at the end, Hernandez Govern just pulls up because he had just done the interview with Adam. And, like, he just pulled up, sat down, and, like, the tension in the room was crazy because it was like, I'm knowing, and Honcho's knowing, but Tanks ain't knowing, and I'm thinking, yo, this the guy with the young Dolph with the, yo, like this. So, like, not everyone in the room was knowing what was going on, but we was cool, and again, it was all on camera, so it was like, it was all cool. We chopped it up afterwards. We took a pic. I know that pic upset a few people, but, like, it was kind of like, okay, we good. And that's what he's saying. He said when we chopped it up, we did it. He called it a meet and greet, but it was like when we chopped it up at No Jumper, it was good. I told him I was working on something, but I was already thinking, like, man, if this don't quite go my way, if this documentary ain't really, like, now I've met you in person and we've had as he called it, a meet and greet, but it was really a No Jumper live episode. He just deboed it up, just pulled up a seat, jumped in, straight in, like, nobody was expecting that. So yeah, man, like he said, we was on good terms, and then this came out and he was just mad upset. And so this is literally like, this is the first conversation we've had since then, other than the DMs, and I just knew I was in trouble, man.
And with that being said, my issue came because you ain't just come up with this idea 2-3 days ago that you was finna do this big ass documentary on Memphis. And with that being said, you could have said that to me that day. Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna do this documentary. I got this little information on J Money. You know, can you give me your opinion on it? You know, I know you know the real. You know what I'm saying? Before you dropped it. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, because I do think that paperwork is fake. You know, I'm 46 years of age. You know, so you know I don't be involved in everything that you know kids got going on because they were kids at that time. But the J Money that I know, when Dare do the shit that you said in your video, that was on that paperwork, and so that was my issue with it. And I reached out to J Money's mother, Shell, and I talked to her about it, and I even sent her the clip of what you put up, and she gave me the real on the situation. And in her words, C Money, rest in peace, and the other little nigga Jizzle, they was never even actually charged with the actual murder of Key. From what she told me, they were charged with several attempted murders and some other little crimes from shooting at her house. And she actually seen them when the incident happened. And so she pressed charges on them and had them sitting downtown for 2 years. And you know, and she was receiving calls and people asking her to, you know, drop the charges and not prosecute or whatever. So after 2 years, she dropped the charges. And when they got out, you know, they still was contacting her, thanking her every day and appreciating it or whatever, you know.
So I just want you guys to understand like how crazy this situation is that he's explaining to us, okay? It's a little bit dense. If you haven't seen all the documentaries and everything that led up to this, it might be hard for you guys to follow. But what he's essentially saying is, look, there's this paperwork and it basically says that somebody tried to pull up at J Money's house. You know, they was trying to get to shooting. They was trying to do just a madness at the house. It was allegedly, they was basically trying to take out the witnesses in a situation where, you know, these other guys had essentially... I was under the understanding that they had a murder case and they was trying to take out the witnesses from that case. As Hernandez Govern says, he basically says, look, they wasn't charged with murder, but it was multiple attempts, and the mother was basically going to be identifying them. So I ain't gonna lie, it sounds like they came to the crib to kill J Money's mom. Okay, and he made sure that didn't happen, but obviously she basically was the one who was identifying people. No doubt she probably was willing to identify those people when it actually came to part 2, when they had tried to invade the home and take out the witnesses. And I think things got a little bit twisted, and I did say this to Hernandez in the conversation, is that like, I feel like maybe that paperwork, it wasn't paperwork where it was like a written statement from J Money. It was like a statement that a police officer had written, as far as like, I've spoken to them and this person told me this and this person told me that. Now, look, this is my personal opinion. I don't want to have more smoke with Quet over this, okay? But like, if I was going to tell you just to be completely honest, and I was probably too pressed in that interview to be completely honest, I feel like the paperwork is probably real, but I feel like what happened is the police officer probably kind of like twisted it a little bit to make it sound like that J Money was gonna identify somebody, and then as he said, J Money didn't identify nobody, he didn't do nothing, he didn't tell nothing, he didn't give no statement, nothing. So I feel like it's some shit where like probably what happened is the police officer spoke to the mother, who was more forthcoming. Maybe he spoke to, or maybe he just had a very small interaction with J Money, like your house getting shot up and the police coming, like you can't really not say anything. But like, I feel like the cops kind of did him dirty and kind of wrote that statement up in a way that made it sound like he was giving information when he really wasn't. So that's the way I see it, as far as it being fake paperwork. Hernandez Garza, he feels like the whole thing's fake. He said that he spoke to J Money's mother. I feel like maybe something got lost in translation here. But what's really interesting, what's super, super interesting, what he just said, he basically said that the mother ended up dropping the charges and not cooperate. I mean, shit, they come into the crib to try and take you out. And she's saying that the guys that were on the attempted murder charges, after she dropped them charges, they were so happy, they was calling her up saying thank you. All right, they was about to pull up to get a plate. So I just want you to understand, like, this history, this Memphis history that he's breaking down to me is actually crazy. Like, I'm like, bro, that's actually crazy backstory. I wish I'd have known that for the documentary, but I've said it before quite a few times, man. I really don't like to try and bring people into documentaries that I'm making. I think, one, it can end up leading to a lot of bias, and two, my skills and my team's skills, our talent is in research and storytelling, and we like to find everything that's out there and present it to people as far as just like, this is what's out there, this is what it is. We don't want inside info. We don't want to... Look, people say I expose people. I don't want to expose people any more than just what's out there. I want to expose good research. I want to expose what is out there hiding on the internet. I don't want to expose people's like personal secrets or personal stories if they don't want them to be online. So look, I felt like I had to put that paperwork in there. He's cleaned it up. He's given me more context on that paperwork, and it's nothing but respect. But it was a super tense conversation, man. And, you know, thankfully, over time, over the course of this conversation, we was able to find more of an understanding. And he put me on the phone with some notorious hitters from Memphis, man. He put me on the phone with a guy called Cold Feet, all right? And he said, hey, you know why they call him Cold Feet? He leaves fools' feet cold, man. And I was like, okay, man, I'm tapped in with the right people. But this was a crazy interview, man. I would suggest that you go and check out the whole thing, man. We'll just watch a little bit more. And there's something I wanted to show you at the end that was really funny, man. So
that being said, she said that their work was fake. You know what I'm saying? Was made up, not to discredit your work or whatever, because I know how you move. I've been following you for a while.
So I think when he's saying that she said that the work was fake and it was made up, I think what she's really saying is it's a real piece of paper. It's a real document, but basically like the way that the police wrote the report as far as like, oh, he's going to give us information. I feel like that was probably cap. And then it's like this nearly 10-year-old paperwork. So I think 8 or 9 years old this paperwork is. So look, okay, I think it was lost in translation. I feel like we fortunately ended up getting to the point where we could actually get that out into the open.
Before we met, I know your shit for the most part is authentic. And if that work is fake, I know it didn't come from you. You know what I'm saying? You just doing your job. But my issue with you is you know me, and you should have called me, Trap. Like, and that shit just ain't cool. Like, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would have called you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and J Money, that's like family. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you speak ill and speak negative like that about my family, then that's why I was saying that negative ass shit to you in your DM. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The DMs was crazy. The DMs was actually crazy. But look, okay, I'm really glad that we was able to kind of set the record straight. Absolutely no disrespect to J Money whatsoever, man. I got absolutely like so much respect and just admiration for all of the legendary figures that have come through in Memphis, you know, that really deserve their respect and their shine and their flowers. And I tried to do that with the video. And I feel like that little paper, I know paperwork really upsets a lot of people. And look, I'm just really glad that we could set the record straight on that. So go and watch that whole interview. Like, you're going to see, like, he's still coming at me with attention at this point, okay? You can see he's still mad, but unfortunately, I managed to kind of win him over. So if you want to go and see how we kind of ended up having that conversation, how it ended up going better, go and check that out, man. And it's funny because it's like by the end of the conversation, like, we was good and he was showing love and, you know, it's super crazy, man. So at one point, right, he gets his mans on the phone, okay? He says, my homie, they call him Cold Feet. And he's like, you know what that means? You know what he does? I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, whoa, okay. And then I'm like, yo, why they call you Cold Feet? He's like, hey, I ain't going to tell you. You're going to have to find out, man. So this was crazy. He was really tapping me in with the real Memphis hitters, man. It was crazy. I don't know if I want to ask this one, man. I want to ask why they call you Cold Feet, but maybe that's not something you want to answer.
You heard him tell? He said he want to ask you why they call you Cold Feet.
I never knew. I never knew.
He said he never knew. He never knew, Trap.
Man, we're gonna have to find out, man. We're gonna have to find out.
Yeah. I'm sure you can read between the lines. I think I can give a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess detailed answer is the reason why they call them Cold Feet.
I always been a muscle.
He always been the muscle.
So look, that's the way he said it, man. He said he always been the muscle. He be leaving fools' feet cold, man. Like leaving feet cold, no Raynaud's, man. You know what I'm saying? He bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like leaving feet cold, man. That was crazy. I really got tapped in with the demons, man. So look, you can tell the demeanor changed. Like, he's tapping me in with people. He's showing me what's going on, man. So it's all love at that point. Yeah, I just want to play you this last bit of the video, man. This really made me chuckle. Okay, so basically, look, Quet was basically saying to me, like, I got pressed. Like, he basically refers to that incident where I ran into Tay Savage and we had a little bit of tension. Now, look, me and Tay Savage, like, we squashed the beef. We was cool. You know what I'm saying? We ended up doing an interview afterwards, but like, he touched on this. I said I was cool with Tay Savage, and even Big Hernandez Govern has some smoke for Central C, man. I told him about me getting pressed, and he basically said, bro, Central C, he ain't good in Memphis, man. This one killed me. This is right at the end, man. Yeah, man, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just this.
Ain't no beef, ain't no beef, Trap.
Ain't no beef. We good. We fully squashed now.
This ain't no Tay Savage shit. When you see me, man, you know what I'm saying, man.
Now, me and Tay squashed it too. Me and Tay squashed it too. Tell you who I'm not cool with, man. Central C.
Shout out to Tay. That's what's up.
You see me getting pressed last week by Central C?
No, for real?
Yeah, no, he was cool, but his manager was going crazy at me. Luckily, I had security, so my security kind of stopped anything going down.
Oh,
but,
okay, okay, okay.
you know what I mean? But hey,
See, look,
if you was there, it would have gone differently.
Where y'all was at? Where y'all was at, Trap?
That was in Vegas before I met Finesse.
So you say you had security with you, right?
I had security, but his manager, he really got up in my face. My security stopped him doing anything, but he said, "Hey, He said he was going to punch me, but he ain't do shit.
So you had to. So I take it you paid your security, right?
My security was paid. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you a little quick way you can save some money. Start leaving the security at home and just bring me. You ain't got to pay me. I'm your homie. I'm just trying to pull up. You know what I'm saying? And a motherfucker ain't gonna fuck with a baby picture of you if I'm with you.
Hey, listen, I feel like if you was with me, I don't think any of them Central C guys would have had anything to say, bro.
Oh, no. They would have stood down. They would have tried to catch you another time, man. You know, they know I treat this shit like the NFL. I'm going to leave it all on the field, man.
Hey, listen, I feel like they trying to catch me next time, so I need to make sure that next time you
make sure you have me with you. Let me know. It could be the night before I'm getting on the plane. Just let me know what time it take off. Hey,
listen, man. Look, his manager's called YB's. He gonna hear that, and he gonna have to stand down, man.
Man, hey, whoever YB is, YB ain't gonna fuck with you, Trap.
Hey, you heard it, people. You heard it, people.
YB, whoever you is, hey man, hey, Trap. Hands, hey, stand down, bro. Stand down. He got some real niggas from Orange Mountain that love him now. I'm telling you now, YB, don't make me.
Hey, listen, this clip about to go viral, man. Hey, YB's, man, you got to stand down. You know what I'm saying? You got the demons.
Whoever YB is, man, on the strength of Trap, we got beef. It's up.
Hey, listen, you heard it, man. You heard it. Hey, so next time I run into Central C and them, it's going to be a problem, man. We got to be careful. But look, we're pushing peace. Hey, so look, you heard it, man. YB's, KB's, you're not good in Memphis, man. It's up. You heard it with Quet, man. It's up, okay? And this ain't somebody to play with, okay? But shout out to Hernandez Govern, man. Bet with Quet. Go and subscribe to his channel. Go and check out the full interview that we did, man. We did a whole hour interview. You know, it was dope. I feel like we started frosty. We ended up having a good relationship by the end of it. Now I got the Orange Man muscle in my corner, man. YB's going to need to go into hiding after that one, man. You know what I'm saying? KB's going to have to definitely skip that Memphis show, man. I don't know if Central C booking any shows in Memphis anytime soon. But yeah, man, it's a dub. It's a dub, man. But listen, okay, shout out to Hernandez Govern, man. It's no beef. We all good. You're going to see more content. I'm actually going to probably pull up on him and do an in-person interview very soon. So it's all love, man. And I appreciate him kind of coming to an understanding with me on this situation. And it was no disrespect. Rest in peace to J Money. You know, legendary Memphis, just, you know, legendary street figure in Memphis, man. And somebody that had a lot of potential. Unfortunately lost his life way too soon. But we keeping his legacy alive. We put no smut on his name. We're not jacking that paperwork. So look, that's the end of the video, man. Hope you found that interesting. I'll be back soon. I got more clips, all of that stuff coming. I need to work out how to get this. My video be jittery a little bit, and I've just switched cameras, and I feel like it didn't used to do that. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Appreciate that. Nothing but respect. Shout out to the whole of Memphis, man. Orange Mound in the building. I'm out of here. Peace.